Well, hi everyone and welcome back. Let's talk about our Module 4, Week 4 assignments. So first of all, let's start with a discussion question. This week I want you to go out and research the internet for information on the Project Management Office, the PMO. Learn everything you can learn and get real strong about what a project management office is and what it does. Basically, the principles behind a PMO are to organize all of the projects that may be occurring in an organization. Maybe you have a pretty good size organization and maybe you've got quite a few projects that are going on at the same time. Typically a project management or a PMO will be the responsible body within the organization for project processes, for discipline. Typically project managers will work out of the PMO and will be reporting back to the PMO. So it's an interesting concept. I've worked in some organizations that implement that and implement it really well. So you want to get good and comfortable and familiar with what is a PMO and what are some of the benefits. Then I would like you to answer these two questions. First of all, how would a project management office be beneficial to information technology projects? So looking at IT projects specifically, how can a PMO help IT projects? Okay. And then the second question, would you recommend using a PMO for information technology organization? Why not? And defend your response. So your initial response is due no later than Thursday. And this week, I do want you to reply to peer posts using that 2x2 rule. So your two peer responses are due no later than Saturday, again, using that 2x2 rule. And then moving on to your individual assignment for this week, we're back with Husky Air. We're continuing working on our Husky Air projects. So each week, your project is going to build on information from the previous week. So I encourage you to copy and paste information from the previous week. Now, if I make comments to you on some things that might need to be modified or changed, then of course what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make those modifications when you do the copy and paste. But for the most part, there are going to be sections that you're going to be able to use and refer to over and over again. Specifically, things like the team name and the team members and maybe the project description. And I'll talk about that in a second. So this week, we're going to be talking about and defining the infrastructure for our Husky Air project. Again, you're going to go back to the end of chapter 4, read the Husky Air assignment. Great details, step by step. You're going to complete all 6. Actually, you're going to there's 7. There's 7 things that it wants you to, 7 elements it wants you to include in your professional looking document. You are not going to do number 6, or excuse me, number 7. Number 7 is revisiting the team charter, but you didn't create the team charter. You guys didn't do a team charter. So obviously there's nothing to revisit. So do not complete number 7 of this. So you're going to have 6 sections which will make up your project infrastructure information. Now, these sections include the project name, project team name, and your project team members. If you didn't name your team in the Module 3 assignment, go ahead and name your team. Give it a name. And then, of course, you've got your project team members. Now, that's directly out of your Module 3 assignment, as is the project description and the project's MOV. Those 3 things right there come right out of Module 3. So you're halfway done. So what you need to do now for Section 4 is you need to define your resources that this project is going to need. And you need to look at resources from a people, technology, facilities, and other perspective. You need to come up with a cost estimate for each of these resources. You need to come up with some pretty good cost estimates. So I would recommend this is where you do some research. So if you're talking about technology, if you're talking about technology infrastructure, this is where you're going to need to go out and research and come up with some good estimates for your recommendations. You want to support these estimates as well. You're also going to want to come up with some good estimates for the cost of these resources. Now, maybe some of the resources you're going to use are personnel that are already employees. So you still want to have an hourly rate associated with their time. Because remember, employees don't work for free. Um, you don't need to know exactly how much these employees make. Typically, these numbers are generalized. So, an employee, when you look at a typical average hourly rate within an organization for a particular job, function, or description, a lot of times this information is generalized, and then the amount of benefits is added on, and an hourly rate for an employee doing a particular type of a function may be $75 an hour. That may not be what he puts in his pocket at the end of the day, but that may be what it costs the organization um, overall. That may be what it actually costs. So you want to be, aware of those things. So you're going to want to do a little bit of research and come up with some good estimates. And this is a good place where the internet might be helpful in determining what some of those resource costs might be. And then finally, you remember that you are a consultant on this project. So what kind of contract does it make sense for you to have with your client? So you're going to make a contract recommendation for your services. That's number 6. And again, don't forget to get that quiz done no later than Sunday. Get your quiz done, get your discussions done, because they cannot be made up. And I will see you guys all in the discussions.